Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ryan, I'm the Kryptonian Collector, and today we have the Supergirl MMS 715/16 scale figure. The Supergirl as seen in The Flash with Ezra Miller, Henry Cavill, Superman's cousin. So, of course, I had to pick this one up because it is, again, Supergirl. But I did enjoy the Flash film for the most part. I didn't like parts of it, but one part I really did like was Sasha Calle as Superman, or Supergirl, sorry. So I figured I'd pick this one up and we'd get it all unboxed on the channel. And I've been waiting 4 days to get this thing open. So let's get right into it. All right, so here we have the outer box, the Flash logo with Supergirl in chrome right down here. And again, the MMS 715/16 scale figure. Hot Toys logos, DC's logo, and a photo of Sasha as Supergirl on the cover. It continues on over to the side, Supergirl's logo, which is a little bit different than Henry Cavill's Superman. Flash logo at the top. And again, the logo, same, but mirrored with the perspective. And on the back are the warnings, the creators, and all the logos and everything for the figure. So we'll get her back over, and let's open it up. So when we open it up, you see the window, the House of L crest for Supergirl, and you see all of the accessories that she comes with. Of course, the base down beneath, all the extra hands for the figure. Flight pole, I'm assuming, right here. And again, the figure right in the middle. So we are going to get that out right now. So, I'm gonna pop this open. There we go. So I really did struggle with purchasing this one. I didn't know 100% if I wanted to order this one after the film, but honestly, it's Supergirl, and I've wanted to fill out my DCEU shelf for a while. I know we have a new DCU coming and probably new figures altogether, but this is one I did want to pick up. So there we go, she is out, and yes, it is the flight post. I'm gonna take the clamshell packaging off, if I can. Instructions are on the bottom of the package. As always, I typically don't read them unless there is something very weird about the figure. But here she is. So we get the flight post, extra wrist pegs, and I believe this is for the eyes and all the extra hand pieces. And let's be real, a lot of the Superman and typically like figures don't really come with much. But I know my Inert Superman did. I think the review should be up now for that one. But we're going to take out... Oh, Supergirl's cape is caught underneath. So I do want to just take a look here. So without really moving it too badly, I'm going to try to get the cape out, and we will be right back. All right, so there we go. Cape is out, and we are trying to get her cape up. So it is a wired cape, I can tell that right away. And we'll just see if we can slide those off. It's so much nicer to slide these off. A lot of the Superman figures I've owned, at least, have issues right here in the ankles. I feel like the costume may ride up. It is a nice material, or feels like a nice material. And it's always one of these feet. There we go. Get off. There is posing available for the toes, so if you want to put her in a crazy landing pose. I'm really liking the material it's made out of. All the piping looks like it's made out of the same material as Superman's. I've just removed her hand. Get these out. So, alrighty. So, as you can see, the cape was a little bit different in this film. It was almost like it was attached exactly like this. So this is screen accurate with the attachment right here on the cape. So that's not too bad. I know I believe Man of Steel cape also had an issue here where they had it attached to the suit. And when I did the mod to it, which if you want to see that video, it's on my old channel, Krypton's Fortress. I'll link it down below. But when I did do that mod for the Man of Steel Hot Toys figure, it was also attached, but this one makes much more sense since in the film it was attached at the shoulders and headed right up to the collar. But that will give you the option, like, I don't know, I like the wired capes, but I like what they did with the In Art Superman. They gave you a choice if you want to put the regular drape cape on them, perfect. If you want to have them in a pose, they gave you the wired cape. I know this one will be a little bit more difficult with the way it attaches at the back, but would have been nice to have that option. And I'm going to take this plastic off, and I'm probably going to pop her hand off as well. No, I got that one. All right, so figure aside, we can see the base, flight pole, and honestly this figure really doesn't come with anything other than the flight pole, flight stand, the accessories are the hands, and that is it. It's very simplified, but there is something special to this figure, or at least the base, that I'm very anxious to see. So we're going to get this thing out and we're going to take a look and see what it's like. All right guys, so here is the figure out of the box. Again, I'm worried about the joints on this figure. I've just tried to bend one. The bending of the elbows and everything, it all works out just fine, but you can see the scrunching. And I know there's ways to move it, but I'd love to have some of these figures in a much nicer pose, but I just fear it. The crest looks really nice. It's really vibrant with the shiny coating over it. And much like the Justice League version, which I believe I'm going to pose this one with, it looks really good. Again, and look at that. Right on one of the ankles. It's already kind of kinked up in there, but what can you do? All right, we're going to get this base out because I've heard that you can actually get this thing to light up, and you can. USB-C will illuminate this base. That to me is insane. I am going to try to find a way to get this one illuminated. This is the kind of thing that I really wish they do more of. I'm crazy for LEDs and such, so yeah, I'm actually interested in getting that working. There we go. And we will put all the plastic and everything back in case I have to pack this thing up again someday. And here we go. So we've got the base. So a lot of the figures I use, I like to use the base just to prop it up. And sometimes it's hard to get with just the feet. I think I'm going to be looking for there we go. I might just look for a crotch grabber stand because I really don't like the fact that it stands there. I've had multiple figures fall over in my display case and display cabinet over here. Sometimes the joints aren't always 100% and it falls forward. So I do like to have a little bit of extra security. So I will be investing in more crotch grabber stands. I think you can buy them secondhand, so I will have to look into that. But so far, really great. The head sculpt, haven't really had a major chance to look at it. It is a big, massive improvement over the first prototype photo. So I feel like if you did not, there we go. If you did not order the figure because of that and it went waitlist, then you're missing out. as I roll her head there. All right. And I've got to figure out how to get this off now. This is a bit different for me. Typically, you pop the head off and the plastic just comes right off. But it hasn't. So I'm going to get that off carefully, and we're going to take a closer look at a pose. I'm going to take a look to see if I can get it posed in any way. All right, guys, so I do have her in a bit of a pose. Finally picked one. Got the tools for the eyes, have her looking to the left. It's pretty easy to use. The little knob goes in a cup inside the head sculpt, and you can just angle the eyes however you want. So I just got her looking off to the left. I've posed a bit of the cape, and again, it's hard to find a pose without going crazy with the joints, and that's just unfortunately one of the issues with collecting. You don't want to damage these figures that you've paid multiple hundreds of dollars for. So for now, that is going to be the pose I go with. Might tweak it a little bit before it goes into the display base, and I have decided to swap out the hand sculpts, of course, and put that away. The other big issue right now that I'm seeing with this figure, and I love the base, I really, really do, but my biggest problem is I do not like to use the waist clamps, the flight clamps, as I believe it does over time damage the figure. I've actually got one figure in there right now that has been in it for longer than I've ever put any Hot Toys figure in it before, and I'm really thinking about removing it here soon. But my issue with that one right now is just the amount of space I have. So I did have to use a flight pole, but for this figure, I'm not going to do that. So I do have to get a crotch grabber for it, because I know I have a bunch that should fit this. So hopefully there's one figure in there that I'm not using it, and I can just swap it out pretty easily. But other than that, the issue is the raised texture of the S shield, which I love, and the raised areas around here. I believe that is the illuminated right here. See if I can get her stand. This is illuminated here, so I think that is going to be the problem with this figure, is there's nowhere to levelly put her standing. So at the time I had her just off to the left or off to the right. So to actually have her stand right here is just going to impede everything. I think it would look really great if there was if we had the flight post in and had her hovering. That is the ultimate goal, but until Hot Toys comes up with some sort of clamp that I can use, or someone finds a way to clip the back of this figure onto that clamp without destroying the suit, she's going to be standing on it. But again, my ideal pose would be this, but with a little bit more float. I think that is my ideal pose. So I don't know, maybe I'll try it for the first little bit, but I think that would be 100% the ideal pose for my figure, for my Supergirl figure. Yeah, definitely, like, look at that. And you can put her either which way angled. I think I'm going to have her beside Black Adam, so it kind of works out that she's pointing, her eyes are going to the left here. But right now, that is the pose I'm kind of looking to emulate. And hopefully, when I'm back with you guys, I will have it in that pose. But we'll see with my final thoughts. I do see a couple other little things here, other pose options, but that by far is number one right now. So we're going to take a look and see what I can come up with. And just like that, I am back. That's right. I've been living with this figure now for just a couple days, and I gotta say, I'm loving everything about it. The costume, the suit is amazing. The gold on that S shield pops. The cape is tied down to the suit in the proper area. There's really not a lot I can say about this figure that I did not like. The head sculpt is perfect. I know at first a lot of collectors were really worried about that, but I can tell you it is 100% better, way better. And honestly, the figure's proportions are perfect. And when you compare it with the Justice League Superman from the original Justice League the butchered version, the figure with the colored suit, it looks amazing. It was made for that, so I think I've started creating a DC EU non Snyderverse shelf, and it is going to go on there. I think I could actually create a whole different version of the Justice League characters. So that's kind of what I'm going for, and I'm going to include this Supergirl on that shelf. So that's why I am pairing it with the red and blue Justice League suit version of Henry Cavill Superman. And they just look so great together. As you can see in some of these photos, it just looks, they look like they were meant to work together. So that's the way I think I'm going to actually pose them, is together like this. Again, I would love to have Stash's Supergirl, this figure, up in a flight pose, hovering above. But until I figure out an alternate way, or some other collector figures out another way to get the flight post or some sort of flight post pose on there without the clamps that will destroy the piping on the suit, for now, she's going to remain grounded. But other than that, the figure looks great in this on this shelf. I will have a full room tour and collection update video at some point, so keep in tune for that. But until then, if you guys are really thinking about this one, don't sleep on it. Definitely get on the wait list. I'm sure a lot of people are working at getting this figure before it's completely sold out. As for Sideshow, I know it is on wait list. You could try Pop Collectibles and some of the others, but again, you really have to be careful with where you're ordering your figures. I'd always recommend going through a reputable seller. I have had a little bit of success with Pop Collectibles right now, but again, I don't want anyone to put themselves in a position just to get this figure, but safely do so if you can. Anyways, guys, that is it for today. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing the brand new Supergirl figure. I sure did. I will be back with more videos very soon. You can follow me in the meantime on all my socials: Instagram, TikTok, Twitter or X, Facebook, Vero, and I'm actually doing movie reviews on Letterboxd, so you can follow me there as well. So you can find links to those all down in the description. Please, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like rating, subscribe to my channel for more great content. I will be back, with you guys again for another video very soon. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.